life, Brother Zhao had a reality of excesses more than most. From one extreme to the next, the more intense, the more he can boast. Partying, drugs, drinking, and gaming into the wee hours of the night. As fun as it seems, he still could not get his life right. Then one fateful moment in September 2013, everything took a turn, and slowly but surely he found the meaning of life that for a long time he has gained. Tzu Chi opened his eyes to see the truth in this human existence. So he started putting his life back in balance with more Tzu Chi wisdom. The more he roamed the Tzu Chi domain, the more he found the meaning in the pockets of his multiverse. And this new life is a blessing. The old way of life was a curse. Navigating through the many significant projects and outreach programs, Brother Zhao found energy fueled by positivity that he never knew he had. A 180 turn in life's purpose is what Brother Zhao experienced with Tzu Chi. Given the same platform, it can work wonders too for you and me. Then Master Te Huang, Master Te Huang reminded us of causes and conditions, a very important teaching of the Buddha, also known as dependent origination. It is a law that underlies the workings of all phenomena through the action of body, speech, and mind, otherwise called karma. Using mindfulness, we can become aware of the nature of our actions and take positive steps to navigate ourselves into a different conclusion. That is it from me, Brother Robert. Back to you.
Yeah, Karen, so much, Sis Su Ching. Always joyful to listen to your wonderful summary of our last Saturday's session. Okay, today we Brother Joe Huang, I think, are unable to join us today. So I think, both of me and Brother Chin, we were just discussing. So tentatively, we will call ourselves Joe Chin and Joe Chong. The two Joes. We'll try to do something interactive today. Brother Chin, you want to share your PP?
Yes, Brother Joe Chong. It should be Robert Chin. Okay, right. So today, Brother Robert and I were discussing what should we do this morning. So we came out with this idea that we do a continuation of what Brother Joe did of our past couple of weeks. So if I may, I'll share that the thought with you all, and then we go into as what Brother Joe wanted to do, to go into interactive discussion. Now, if you recall, past couple of weeks, you can see my slides, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Brother Joe Huang talked about causes and conditions. Then he talked about effects and consequences. So today we add in a new dimension. This is a dimension of time that we add into that discussion. And we'll see then, and when we just open it up to see how one sees things, given these three aspects. Now, we have obviously evolved from the past, as Master said, and we're transmigrated the 6 realms to where we are today. So that's the past to the present, and that's why we have in this particular life. Secondly, that we have encountered a path, we are in a path in searching, and that's in the present. And we will evolve and we transmigrate into the future. Obviously, those who can get enlightened in this life, they will be out of the 6 realms. But that's generally what it is. The past we have been through, the present path, and we will evolve into the future, whatever that future may be. So now the question is this: what has happened in terms of where we are right now, which is the present. So in this context, we're talking about practicing in the present moment. And what does that mean? So in this present moment, then what is in your control? And when do you have to face these aspects? First is the causes. We have causes of the past that's happened. We also have the causes of the present. So there are two aspects to that, and what Brother Joe Pang also mentioned before. Then we have the conditions. The conditions that we've been through in the past. We also have the conditions in the present. Well, but the question now is, were you in control of the causes that you had in the past? Are you in control of the causes in the present? And then the conditions that we face in the past and the conditions we face in the present. Then we have the effects. We have been through the effects in the past. We continue to go through the effects in the present life, which I would call it our becomings or life becomings. And there will be the future, right? The effect that will manifest in the future. And obviously, we have the consequences that are you in control of the consequences in the present. So the idea is, the point is this, with this dimension of practicing in the present moment, what is it that you are in control? And we will now open it up for discussion. And are you in control of your causes? Are you in control of your effect? Are you in control of the condition? And what about consequences? So maybe we can open up and then you can put it in the chat as to what you think would be your views on this. So then you can type in your response. So meantime, Brother Robert and I will have a chat on this, and maybe Brother Robert, you want to add on to what I've said already?
Yep. I think this is a very interesting topic that Brother Chin has brought up. How we can input time, space into this concept. I think before, I hear, because since I'll be sharing later on, maybe I'll tie that with my sharing later. Maybe we'll invite others to share for the time being. I would like to hear maybe from our fearless Sister Sharon from Sydney, maybe to from Sister Sharon. Hi, morning, Sister Sharon.
Hi, good morning. I am shocked to become the first one to share.
Yeah.
Okay, I really like this team now. Okay, Joe Cheng and Joe Chin.
Yes, now we have turned into two Joes.
Good morning, brothers and sisters, and good morning, everyone. It's really nice to get together on Saturday morning. It's kind of like just wake me up. Causes and conditions. I really like the part that Brother Jing was mentioning just now. We talk about causes and conditions in the past, and now that you add in the time in it, and time is actually the essence, And I often think like, why do we add in time? Actually, you brought it up, and I thought, oh, that is really, really good, because whatever we do, actually, it's got to be the right timing, the right time, the right opportunity. It is now or never. If you put it on hold later, it won't be the same effect. It won't be the same situations anymore. So if we don't do it now, we can't do. It's not that we can't do it later, but it will be different effects. So now I actually tie back to this morning Xun Fa Xiang a little bit. Is it okay?
Yeah, sure, please.
Was really good too, because Master talked about the topic of letting go of oneself to unite with others, you know, and Master put in this quote that I think I'll remember with me all the time, like, all those I love them for me. And I thought, like, wow, that is so powerful. So if we love Master, we have to love all those that we like, love them for Master, right? So and Master also brought in, say, to accomplish things, we must be able to accommodate everyone's opinion, and we learn from each other's strength and combine this strength and methods. Then only we can accomplish a bigger task, and we interact with this with sincere friendship with others, and unite with others is very important. Now back to what brother's question just now, what are you actually in control? Are you able to control the past? A lot of the time, like, straight away, my mind would say that, no, I don't think I can control the past. It's just like in this pandemic, how could I control? It just happened like that, you know, I couldn't make any changes. But what can I do? And are you able to be in control now? Are you able to do something now? And I think, yes, we can. And that is when here we all the Bodhisattva come in. And back to the Master teaching again, it's like we must help everyone to plant the seed of Bodhi. And the seed of walking the Bodhi path in this light is that everyone can carry these good deeds that we do into our subsequent lives and benefit many people. And that is when wisdom can arise. I'll just use our Sydney examples here, because it is it's better to use example to explain what I'm trying to say. Are we able to control the present? In the recent last 3 months, it is quite, I mean, in Sydney itself, the pandemic has gone a bit wild, you know, and the Delta variant is, yeah, so it is pretty serious. So we have to have the whole Sydney lockdown, and we're still in full lockdown basically, and the numbers climb up very fast. And in the time of lockdown, a lot of us feel powerless. Like, what could we do? You know, we are in lockdown, we sit at home. You know, I want to help. I want to do something. Researching people wants to go out and do something to help others. We want to have some control, but we have, oh, if you think that you're sitting at home feeling powerless, what are you in control of, right? So, but what happened is that comes timing again. Because of this seriousness of this the virus, suddenly the hospitals need help, and we approach the hospitals. And of course, in the past also, it's not just suddenly. In the last since the pandemic, we have been working very closely with the hospitals, and we have been donating masks and hand sanitizers and gloves and so on, whatever. But in the current moment, what is happening in the hospitals is that because of the number of cases arise so much, so the ICU and emergency department are all in chaotic, you know. So doctors work tirelessly, and they're all really risking their lives to care for all these COVID victims. And they and when we contacted them, they said, I say, what can we do to help you? Is there something that we can do? Sure, we can do something besides giving you face masks and all that. And they say, you know what? Yes, you can. We run out of these scrub hats and all that. You know, the doctors use the scrub hats. And can you all make it? Or can we make it? Because in the past, we have been making cancer caps for the cancer patients in one of the districts hospital, with 7 hospitals sharing the cancer caps. So straight away, my answer would be like, yes, Sir Chi, we can, because we already have done this before. We know how to do it, and we have the manpower to do it. And that is when it started. So it's the right timing. So that's when timing comes in, okay? And we are in control. And they say, we really need it. So we say, okay, we go back and we start working. So we came back to Tzu Chi, then we get everyone who's at home, who can't do anything, and we say, well, everyone, can we do something? Who can sew? Who can knit? And besides the caps, they also say, like, you know, we wear the mask whole day, like especially doctors, you know, morning 8 a.m. to, you know, whole day to 5 p.m. So the pressure on the ears is really, really rubbing against the ears. The loop is really sore. So what they thought of is like, there's something called the ear saver, where there is a little piece where you put it at the back and you hook your ear loop there to the piece of the ear saver. I'll show you afterwards. And can you do that as well? You say, yes, we can. So Tzu Chi people, those who can knit, start knitting. Those who can sew, start sewing. And then we did that, we did that to for the hospitals, for the emergency department of one of the hospitals, the big hospital. Then after doing that, we approach the other hospitals and they say, do you need any help? And the same thing again, they say like, we have sanitizer and all those, but we really need something for the doctors and the nurses, they need help. So they say, can we do these caps and the year savers for you? And they say, oh, that is fantastic. Okay, this, you can, if you can do that, would be really good. So we're starting to do for another hospital. So north, south, east, west hospitals, all the hospitals in the whole Sydney, I think we covered. We did so many for them, and all the BZB at all the Tzu Chi, hardworking, everyone who is sitting at home suddenly have this opportunity. This timing is right. Have this opportunity to contribute, to give, to do something, to plant these body seeds. And I thought that is really, really, it's really wonderful. So that is, yes, we can control the current and the effect, and I think it will be a great effect because now we built such a close relationship with all the doctors, nurses, emergency as well as the ICUs of all these hospitals. I think everyone knows Tzu Chi. Everybody, you talk about Tzu Chi, Tzu Chi make these caps because it's all handmade with love. And we keep telling the Bodhisattva Tzu Chi, we say, all your handmade caps and year savers, all your love, time and effort is spread all over Sydney. Every hospitals have us. If you don't mind, brother, can I share a screen just to show you what
Sure, please.
Okay.
Sister
Yep.
Su Ching.
Is it all right? Can you see?
Yes, we can see.
You can see, all right.
It's
I mean,
beautiful.
quickly show you what I mean. So this is what it is. You see all these colorful caps that we made.
Yeah.
They are all really colorful. Why colorful? Because we want it to give a little life, like lift up their spirits. The doctor nurses work so hard and all that, they're so dull, and then they see death and everything. So these colorful, good materials that we got, just to lift them out of spirit. And the little one at the front there, those are the year savers. If I can. Sorry, if I may. So this is, you see how happy this is in emergency ICU, and all of them are wearing Tzu Chi caps, and you can see the face in them as so happy. And this is the year savers where you put at the back. Can you see the loop go around the hook at the back? And this is how they relieve the pressure from the years. And we even put Master Jing aphorism on not all, but most of them, to send to the hospitals to give them, like the words of encouragement, like today is a good day, you are blessed. And most importantly, behind the scene, who are the people who's making, they're all 30 volunteers, doesn't matter your age, young and old, those at home and those who are busy, everyone contributes. And suddenly we plant all these body seeds, for everyone. Like Master say, wisdoms come from doing good deeds, and understanding and allow this to happen. Give everyone an opportunity to do it, and everyone is so happy. And together, again, back to this morning, Shin Fa Xiang, together we are united, unite as one to accomplish a bigger task. One can't accomplish all, but together we can do in a big scale. So we donated over thousands and thousands of these year saver, as well as the caps. So these are just some of the photos again, as you can see. So this is what we've been doing at the Sydney. I'm not sure, do I answer the questions of Brother Chin just now? Are we in control? And my answer is yes. And the time, timing comes in because it's the right timing. And the effect, yes, I think the effect will be great because everyone now and from now on, we are so closely tied with the hospital. I'm sure we can do more to help each other. So unite with ourselves, within our groups of Tzu Chi, and within the hospitals and the whole country as well. And that's my sharing. I hope so.
Oh, wonderful. Brother Chin, you want to give some comments?
Okay, fascinating, Sister Sharon. So let's go back in this particular context, in what Mr. Sharon had just shared. What is control and what we're facing, right? So we have the causes of the past and present condition, effects, and the consequences. Now, obviously, like Sister Sharon said, the causes in the past, obviously, when we look at causes, what we've done in the past, there's nothing we can do about that. But we are in control of what we want to do, the causes in the present. The conditions that we face in the present, like for example, as Sister Sharon talked about the COVID-19 pandemic that we are facing, that's a condition we're facing. We've got no control of that. Now, the effects of that you're going to manifest as manifested in the present, and the government imposed lockdown and people are getting sick, we have to face that. But interestingly, what Mrs. Sharon said is, well, what can I do about this? So people are in need, and then that the frontline workers are working very hard to save people and to take care of them. So the question is, what role can they play? And that's what Sister Sharon spoke of so eloquently, and showed us all the good things that have been done. So it's same thing with everything in our life. And if I think the context of what Sister Sharon said, that in our life we face so many things. Okay, the common thing we are facing worldwide right now, obviously the COVID-19 pandemic, but there's so many other little things that each one of us face individually, and that's the manifestation of our past causes, which present the effects in this life. But these causes in the past cannot manifest into effects unless the condition is right. So it's just like a seed. If you have a seed in your hands and a seed cannot germinate, and then you got the nutrients, you got the water, and the seed will germinate. So in very much the same way, those conditions, when the conditions is right in the present, those past causes will manifest. Unfold as a form of becomings, and that will be the effects in this life. But how do you react or respond entirely depends on you. So with that, I think it's good to then we move to the next question is in the practice at the present moment, and let's look at this for us practicing in the present moment. What is most important to you in the practice of present moment? Obviously, the cause, condition, effect, and consequence, which we discussed. So if I take one step further on this, and based on what Sister Sharon have just described, and the condition that we are facing, is let's look at your condition and the condition that you are facing in anything, whether it's pandemic, whether it's individual, whether it's in the country, whether it's a community, so on and so forth. The question is, can you change your condition? And how can you change your condition? And now I'll open up that for discussion. Robert, to you.
Okay. Wonderful comments from our brother Chin, and of course our fearless Sister Sharon. The wonderful work that you are doing is always amazing. Every time we invite you to share, I can always expect something, new from you. I think the work that you are doing is just fantastic. I think that also brings me to what Sister Carping, has been taking all us together, for, helping all these frontliners as well. Maybe we'd like to hear a few words from Sister Carping.
Hi, Brother Robert.
Hello, hi.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, brothers and sisters. Well, yeah, I always believe that nothing happened is out of coincidence. So as I learn more and more of the Dharma, the feeling is that past causes are actually catching up with me, like it or not. And everything happens, it's like I look at it as if, I'm given a second chance to correct or do better what I didn't before. And that is what I'm very, very grateful for? Well, the present is within our control. That's what I always believe. Whether you want to seize the opportunity or you let it pass. And when you seize the opportunity, it's really a chance to see and learn how I deal with it. Like, starting with, let's say, the recent event in the pandemic, and you were in the meeting, Brother Roberts, right? All of us made vow. And it all started with me making that 500,000 vow, right? And I made that vow, I have got to fulfill it. And that is actually, a cause. And then the conditions happened that, we had meetings and we got to learn and meet new people. And then I realized that actually, based on the affinities that I'm able to work so closely with them, you then realize that, these are people that I must have met before. And they are all coming back to do the same thing that we have probably vowed that we wanted to do in our past lives. And that is the most beautiful part, I think, once you learn to see and you accept it. And you can do wonders, right? So, from our initial target of 10 million, now it's exceeded 30 million, and we are likely to close at, 33 million. So, and just like what Master said this morning, when you are able to let go of yourself, not thinking that, you are just going to do by yourself, raise 500,000 by myself, you actually will be able to gather and unite the strengths of everybody. And that is the time that you will experience the wondrous existence that you never, be able to do it by yourself. And this is also the time that, for the first time, Tzu Chi actually start to do things with other NGOs in a big way. And that kind of relationship, that kind of friendship that we forge can now be extended to other things. And I'm making a presentation this coming Wednesday, to all these other people, telling them, which other areas can we, work together, like medical outreach, perhaps recycling, and maybe even extending, our cooperation to the stateless school, etc. So, yes, these are all the conditions that you must seize when it happens. You must be really opportunistic, and these are all within your control. So, but I feel that, with a heart of gratitude, you can actually make things beautiful, and you can therefore sit back and expect the unexpected, like, in the case of Solidarity Fund. Yeah, so a lot of things are within our control. What happens in the past, I don't know. But at least when you look at the present, the people that you meet, the things that's happening, the conditions that, the opportunities that come to you, then you kind of know. So like from Solidarity Fund, I kind of know the direction that I want to take in Tzu Chi. That is actually, when Master always talk about Dharma Lian Xin, uniting Malaysia as one. It's not just about uniting, Tzu Chi Selangor, KL with Tzu Chi Penang, but really from Solidarity Fund, it is uniting, all Malaysians, people of all faiths, all religion together. And I felt that is actually, what I derive most joy from in this Solidarity Fund, more than the money that we have raised. It is really, how different leaders of different religions coming together as one. And that's really beautiful. Yeah, that's my sharing this morning. Thank you.
Yeah, Kanan so much. Just copying. Yeah. Brother Chin, let's hear a few words from you.
Yeah. On the question of can you control the condition that you face, and if so, how? And I'm just wondering. I think most are familiar with Master Buddha, the story of Master Buddha, right? Brother Robert, you remember the story?
Yes, Buddha Dharma. Yeah, Buddha Dharma.
And that's when he was a very highly cultivated master.
Yes.
And I think, if I remember a bit of the story, it was the emperor was very pleased with him, and he wanted to honor him, right?
Correct.
And he allowed him to sit on the throne.
Yes, the throne. Yeah.
And when he was walking up, the moment of pride came into him. And when he was about to sit down, he knocked his knee against the carving. I think it was a dragon head or something.
Yes. Yes.
And they sat down. Now, in that context, which his question is, when he went up, that moment that arose in him, was it because of the condition he faced, or was it a consequence? And I think it would be interesting to see from that perspective that sometimes there are very trying circumstances that we face. And in so doing, we will find that what arouses in us is actually two things. One, either the desire, or two, the emotion arising from that. The question now is, that arousal of those, or rather the manifestation of that. So would we, I guess the question is, would one say that obviously the pride was the reaction arising from that, but the fact that arousal of that, is it arising from a condition? Is it arousal from a consequence? And maybe you want to open it up for some thoughts on that.
Yeah. Maybe we can invite Sister YY to give a few comments on this interesting topic. Sister YY, are you there?
Good morning, Brother Robert, brothers
Hi,
and
morning.
sisters.
Morning.
Wow, today is something new. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Could I actually go back to Brother Chin? Yeah, Brother Chin mentioned about that the three periods, the causes, condition, and also the effects of consequences. So like automatically I relate this to the law of karma, effect and retribution. So on the second question, when Brother Chi asked, how do we control the conditions? So in fact, I think I remember last week when Brother Joe asked this, I personally feel that condition, to me personally, it is actually quite beyond my control, in the sense that, say, whether in a workplace, a condition I'm referring, say, to the work culture of a place, or when we are already now with Tzu Chi, the culture of Tzu Chi members, the Tzu Chi, how we do things. So when we have joined an organization, be it for our career or for good deeds. So in that condition, we may not be able to change things that we don't like immediately. So we have to learn how to control the condition by controlling our mindset. Because Master mentioned, it's so powerful, the mind. Everything is created by the mind. So when the condition is not conducive, how do we control it? Control by changing our mindset. Yeah, and also in line with today's Master's teaching, Master mentioned about all the embracing virtues, and also to learn to let go, yeah, and talking about this self. So whenever we are in any organization, definitely we cannot run away to work with people to handle matters. So letting go of ourselves first. When we are working with people, letting go of ourselves. We cannot be holding on to too much emphasis on ourselves, being self-centered, insisting on others to follow our way, what we want, what we like. We have to be in, by the fact of letting go, yeah, by doing it, we are moving towards the direction of being in harmony with people, yeah, in handling matters. And talking about handling matters, of course, we have to be rational, but handling people, we have to put more emphasis of being more sensitive because of feelings and emotion. So when we can be in harmony with people and in handling matters, applying this the way to be sensitive and being rational, then only we can be so-called in harmony with the principle. It's exactly Master mentioned, 人缘思缘啊，理才可以圆. So, and of course, in the process of letting go of this limited self, it is actually a chance for us to opening to a wider, greater self. And this is indeed the goal of us embarking on this spiritual practicing journey from this transforming our limited self to greater self, or whether to the stage of being selfless. So I think on this part on the condition, I believe many of us may be put into certain situation that is not within our wish. Then that's my little sharing of the personal experience, how we should be changing our mindset. Of course, to ensure what we desire to happen in future, that's very important to seize the present, to do what is right. Because everything is created by the mind, whether it's good or evil. So we are being taught by Master, following Buddha's teaching. We should be knowing what is the right thing, what is the good things to do, so that you have a brighter future from the past, which is entirely within our control. Yeah, I'm not saying within our control. What we did in the past, we carry forward to this year. Maybe we are helpless. We have to face it. So what our attitude need to be is that willing to accept it and then face it. If you are not replaying like for like any situation we are facing or being scolded, yeah, we have to practice that patience, endurance, and maybe it can help us in a way to help to mitigate or reduce the impact of our karma. 重业轻松. So the heavy severe karma, we can actually face it lightly. So this is my little sharing today, Gadam.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, indeed, I think we cannot run away from always the law of karma, isn't it, Brother Chin? Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Sister YY. Obviously, Sister YY mentioned that when the conditions manifest, and if you remember, Master mentioned that the arising of the skandhas actually arise from the interaction when our six consciousness or six sensory consciousness are in contact with the externalities of conditions. So conditions are external, of which we don't have any control. And when our scan, and that's when we are got to be very mindful that whether the skandhas will arise, and that will result in reaction and unwholesome thoughts, words, or deeds. And so we got to be very mindful about that. So really, then those conditions, external, nothing we can do about it. But the thing is that if you have those conditions and you don't have past causes, the seed cannot manifest, the effect cannot manifest, although we may face the same condition between, say, Brother Robert and I. So that brings me to the last question, Brother Robert, also because we need to end by 7:10, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that brings me then to the last question. I'm following from this particular question on that's your condition, right? So the question is about you and about changing your condition. The last question is relating to one of Master's teaching in earlier. And then now here, this is the question, is now talk about someone else's condition, between someone and you, so someone else's condition. So the question is, can you create someone's condition? And if you can, then how? And that's how would you, when you go out and Master saying that, yeah, all the activities that we do. So the question is, when you do that, when you serve, how do you then create someone's condition? And if so, how? So, Brother Robert?
Yeah, I think we shall invite Sister Yvonne to answer this question. Sister Yvonne, how can you create this condition for Brother Richard?
First of all, can you create?
Can you create? Yeah, I think she's creating it, already creating it. Yeah. So Yvonne.
Yeah. So with Master's teaching, I always remember the three parts. Yourself first, and then the environment, and then others. It equals to the transform self and then transform others. So the journey with my home brother, of course, when I started out, the activity I choose, because somehow Master skillful means register with me. So I said, what are the things that I choose were, I used the word entice my home brother to join. So I'm creating the condition. So even when I was Chancy and Pei-Xin, after I was exposed to recycling, the first thing I come back and tell him, hey, actually you can help me in recycling, you know. So because we understand that that needs to create condition for people to be able to create blessing. So the second thing I was thinking, I volunteer for the functional role in spring cleaning, meaning our Jing hang, right?
Yeah.
And I will say, ayo, home brother, you need to help me lah. Now I need to clean the toilet. No? So home brother, of course pity the wife, right? Okay, he support me, you know. So without fear, during my journey of holding this functional role, without fear, every weekend we will reach Jing hang to do the cleaning. And the best part was, it was my mistake. I said, yeah, cleaning toilet, right? The first time when he really wanted to clean the toilet, you know. When there was no toilet, someone giving to him, right? He become sulky. Oh my God. So then I discussed with the functional people to say, hey, next round, assign him to clean toilet. Like he likes to clean toilet. So recycling. And then I also think about refugee, right? Then I also play victim. I said, hey, home brother, you know me lah, I don't like driving, right? Seriously lah, you need to help me, you know, when I go for this CBI distribution and so forth, can you be my driver or not? You help me lah. So these three activities I chosen was actually with the intention for him to participate in doing good deeds. And the real transformation happened during COVID-19. In 2020, when we couldn't do distribution, right, we need to start doing phone call assessment. So my cultivation wasn't that good yet. The wisdom wasn't with me. So I get afflicted by all the phone calls. After the initial phone calls, we got extra phone calls coming in, you know, and people will, because there's a conflict between emotion, compassion, and what you cannot do. You feel hopeless because you want to help them because of COVID-19, yet you still cannot go out. And some people screaming that they do not have food and so forth. Then after the first round, I was still working. My home brother offered to, you know, can I help in the phone calls? So that's a condition, I guess. You providing the role model and so forth. And then down the line, initially when we doesn't have the means to have those additional phone calls come in, right? We usually, after some time, we block. And then when there was a link that come in that we can just key in so that these people will get the food distribution, he offered to help, he said, and then since we can do it, we ought to discuss, hey, let's call back all the refugee people that we have blocked before. So we go and call every one of them to get the address back so that the food distribution can reach them. Well, although we know that once we open this up, many phone calls will come. And I see the transformation in him. Those days he will get a bit irritated. Now, he kind of like very, not say spoken or gentle, but in a very calm voice and ask the refugee what they need, So, and we made the effort to call them back. Likewise, even the last one, right? He come and tell me, hey, I want to buy some food for them. Our last distribution, of course, when we first came to Tzu Chi, we said we cannot say it's due to Tzu Chi. There I will say, okay, when you give out, you cannot say it's from Tzu Chi yourself, otherwise I get into trouble. So in addition to doing that, he also buy extra, daily convenience for the refugee. So I guess you can actually create conditions for people to cultivate. Although we cannot control how we look or our sizes, our physical appearance, whose our parent is. But one thing I learned from Master in this life, the present that we have, we can seize the moment to better ourselves, to change our conduct. It is when we change ourselves that we are able to influence the people around us. The most important part, I guess, is to create a condition where people can awaken their love. In the world, we need a lot of living bodhisattva. So I guess the most important principle for me is create a condition so that we can awaken the inherent goodness or loving kindness in the people. That's my sharing today.
Marvelous. I think Brother Chin, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, well, just quickly, thank you, Sister Yvonne. So nice to hear. You're so excited. Seriously, I should seen you develop over the past more than a year. That's wonderful. I think on point and the condition, I think I agree with what Sister Yvonne say. The only thing that I just want to add, Brother Robert, is sometimes when we're engaged in activities, it's very ideal in Tzu Chi that we can do that in a group, right, and the environment, and very well structured. But when you are outside there, and sometimes when we interact with someone else, especially someone who is closer to us, we always say we create this thing is good for you, right? But so that other person we may not be fully mindful of that other person, what they think. So become medicine. So that's the only thing that we got to be a bit mindful. So we need to understand the mind of others. Okay, so Brother Robert, 7:10, exactly.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Yeah. So now Brother Richard is so attached to the toilet now, which is good. So it's a toilet attachment. I think it's something new that we learned today.
First time, when he didn't get to wash the toilet, his face becomes soggy. I say, oh my God.
Okay, so remember everyone, when you see Brother Richard, you send him to the toilet. Yeah, that will make him happy. He will choose the toilet over Sister Yvonne. Given the choice. Canon so much. Yeah, wonderful session. Yes, I hope we have done justice since Brother Joe Huang is not around. Yeah, so we are just trying to provoke everybody's so-called attention and to give it a thoughts these cause and conditions. Okay, now we shall pass over to Sister Su Ching. Over to you, Sister Su Ching.
And Brother Robert and Brother Chin for the wonderful hosting and all the wonderful sharing by the sisters. Very, very grateful. Yeah, indeed. We have those who missed sharing just now live. Please feel free to send your thoughts at the chat group or can even message us. We would like to, we would love to read it and share. Continue this interaction session. Okay, next, we are looking forward the session which we are all looking forward to the sharing by Brother Robert. Robert, as the president of EG Group, and always very selflessly guiding us, even waking up very early to host the daily Poshin Faxiang. So we I'm sure everyone here knows about Brother Robert. So the president, not only for EG Group, actually for all of us. So we are very grateful. Always the reason why Brother Robert could seamlessly guide and call out each names, because in fact he knows all of us very well. If only the session could be extended to days, I think Brother Robert will never be exhausted of knowing who to call next. Okay, without much ado, let us pass the platform to Brother Robert. Over to you, Brother.
Canon, Sister Su Ching, for the kind words. Okay, yes, now it's my part on sharing my little journey in Tzu Chi. In fact, the title of my sharing is, I want to use it as my benefactors, 我的贵人, in Tzu Chi. I always believe that without all this 贵人, without all these cause and conditions of, this 贵人, my path in this journey will not have started. So how this journey started? Once upon a time, in year 2004, there's this one Mr. Chong, the one with the arrow, visited Hualien and met up with Master Cheng. It was 17 years ago. Of course, this those who know Mr. Chong, of course, is my father. He visited and joined this entrepreneur group, and for this 5 days, 4 nights camp, one of the earliest entrepreneur camp, and he was so inspired during this trip. In fact, on the spot, of course, on the left of the photo is Sister Echo Chen. On the spot, I think he donated 2 long tong. In fact, originally he donated 1 long tong, and then she told Sister Echo Chen to put his name, my father's name, and my mother's name. But then Sister Echo Chen informed my father that for long tong, it's always 1 name one. You cannot put 2 names. So how? So then my father said, okay lah, then we will take up 2 long tong. So that was what my father did during his the trip to Taiwan. He was so inspired and motivated by all the works done by volunteers and of course by our masters. So, and then when he came back, he secretly told me about this donation. In fact, he has no intention to inform me. He afraid that I may thought that something went wrong in Taiwan. And then that's why this donation was done. But anyway, I think he told me quietly, keep it to myself. This donation, and of course, he even asked me not to inform my siblings. So that caught my surprise. I want to know more about Tzu Chi, and of course, being my father, of course, I would, my father, I would say, is my first benefactor, 我第一个贵人, in Tzu Chi. He also want me to know more about Tzu Chi, so I think he sent me 2 years later to join this entrepreneur camp, and of course, when he registered me for this entrepreneur camp, immediately I told him that I may not be able to understand, I may not be able to benefit because everything will be conducted in Chinese, So he, being a wise father, he said, doesn't matter, I've registered for 2 persons. In fact, I will engage a translator for you, so you will not feel left out, so the person will translate for me, So that Mr. Lim, on the left of the picture is the translator. In fact, he is my company's accountant. He's bilingual, obviously, and then so he accompanied me during this trip to Taiwan in 2006. And of course, for those who have joined this trip to Taiwan, I think I always say this is a money back guaranteed trip lah. You will definitely be inspired and motivated lah. And of course, with that motivation and with that words of advice from Sister Echo Chen as well, to ask me to join the English group, and at the same time, I think upon coming back, my father also was very wise again, that he wanted me to so-called involve further in Tzu Chi. So I think he has handpicked my mentor, and that is Brother Wong, Brother Wong Man Hing, because somehow my father came to know of this banker. He's a long-time banker, very trustworthy, very reliable, very caring, mindful person, and he asked me, okay, you just follow this Brother Wong, he will, guide you in this path of walking in this Tzu Chi, So we were together, this photo in fact was taken one of our, we joined the photography, the Tzu Chi conducted these photography classes. Both of us, we signed up for these photography classes, and then we took this picture in Uluyam, one of our outdoor sessions, while we learned this photography. Of course, beside this activity, the other very important start for me in Tzu Chi is being the MC. Because during the early part of the English group, our Brother Wong, or I call him Sifu Wong, he was doing the emceeing. He was also the program coordinator. In fact, at times he was also handling the AV, So he needs someone, he need to, hand over this emceeing work to somebody, So somehow he saw, something in me that he believed that I can do, So he guided me, assigned me this emceeing role, and his advice to me is being the MC. Your job is to introduce the speaker. It's not to outshine the speaker. He has guided me so-called mindfully and closely monitored my progress. In fact, Brother Wong even has a little Bible, on how to become a good MC, and when he passed me this Bible, I have been using this Bible all the time, how to be a good MC, and obviously, we are here to introduce the speakers, we are not to, outshine the speakers, and then I think the most important part as well is smile, always be happy, and have this glowing smile as we, emceeing any so-called event, And Brother Wong was not only there for me all the time, he also continued to guide me, to give me the assurance, to correct me, at times when I make mistake, as I do my part, And of course, he is also my walking dictionary, because during the early part of again Tzu Chi, the materials are in English is not easy to come by. So of course, Brother Wong is also doing one of the translation. He is also very actively involved in translation, and so he is like my walking dictionary. Anything that I find. I asked a lot in the beginning of when I walked the path, and then he really was my little dictionary. I will ask him a lot, and as we walk the path, and of course along the way, I also get to play different role besides being the MC. You know, here during one of our trip to this HIV home in Batu Arang, I also get to become the Cai Sen Ye, the god of prosperity. We celebrated Chinese New Year in this HIV home in Batu Arang. Of course, Brother Wong was there to take pictures and also to send love and caring to the recipients. And beside the Tzu Chi, me and Brother Wong, we also have become good friends. We went to this vulture pig in India. I think we have heard so much about vulture pigs as with the Ling San that Pastor has been expounding. So in 2015, me and Brother Wong joined this pilgrimage trip to India. So one of the very important place that we need to visit, of course, is this vulture pig. This is where 2,500 years ago, Buddha was there to expound the Lotus Sutra. And of course, beside this little vulture pig, we also have gone into many more other places together as a traveling partners. In Nepal, in fact, we traveled to Nepal quite a number of times to do hiking. At the same time, of course, we also enjoy the scenery. Various places in Nepal we have so-called visited and have ventured together. And so besides become my brother and my guide, of course, he also has become a good friend to me in my life. And of course, in this path of this English group that we were together, I always feel that English group is very unique. We have conducted, of course, many courses, many trainings for our fellow volunteers and in fact even Tatars, and we all come from very diverse religious and racial backgrounds. As you can see from this photo, we have Sister Zawiya and the Cheng sisters, our Black Pearls, and this is to, this photo evidence that Tzu Chi is not just a Chinese word, it's an organization that embraces great love. And of course, we are not just a functional role, but we are part of the big 4 major missions of Tzu Chi. Again, this photo also tells us that we have people of various backgrounds, various religion, joining us, and this is organization of great love, really without borders. In this photo was taken at a HIV home in Batu Arang, and of course, beside the new volunteers, we also have our committees, who have been handling this home very well, and all this part and parcel of these people are also part of these benefactors who have guided me along this way. And of course, forgetting our committees, our English group committees. This was one of the early photo in 2011. This photo was taken in Cheng. We have Sister Sui San here, Sister Sao Hun, and Brother Cheng, and of course the rest are, Brother Lu, Brother Albert, Brother Zhi Wei, Sister Subi, Sister Michelle, So we first we started trainings, we have to embark to Malacca to do our training, because that was our first so-called Jing Tang. And then later on, I think when our office started centers in Klang, I think we also moved over to Klang to have our training. Of course, beside Klang, I think we also have done training in Kelana Jaya, in Puchong, in Bukit Bintang. So we have moved to a lot of places, and in fact, like I said, all these committees, they also double up as speakers. They also double up as, xiangji zhu, helping out in the kitchen, So in the early days, we were doing all these translation works, transcription works as well, and, of course, along the way, as we walk the path, I think all these benefactors, I call them, we also become part and parcel of this big family of Tzu Chi, happy family, Dharma, brothers and sisters. We celebrated this Chinese New Year, Lo Sang in 2013. At the time, I think Brother Matthew was the English group leader, So together with the rest of our EG committees, to create this bonding. And of course, we have done quite a lot of activities, but one of the activities which I need to highlight is this charity luncheon that we organized last year in conjunction with this K1K so-called charity drive. So let us watch this short video together. As you can see, all these committee and working committees, we are free talk before we start, and we also double up as sign language performers. Sis Su Ching, Sister Michelle, Brother Albert. Of course, we also have the volunteers doing the ushering and doing the registration. All these are not possible if all these volunteers don't come together. Sister Wan Ching here, just now we have Sister Peggy, believing strong, brave and not afraid. Give love openly. Of course, Brother Vincent Tan provided us the venue for our charity function, sponsored the venue and also sponsored the food, and in fact plus the AV system as well. A big感恩 to Brother Vincent Tan, for all this wonderful contribution. In fact, all this was done last year during this challenging COVID time. There were quite a lot of SOP that we need to go through for this function materialize. Also, if you have Sister Cupping here, telling us the importance of this across every distance, social our love dare to dance, spread love readily, pave the long road ahead tenderly, your soothing blessings. All in, there are about 130 attendees to this function. 28 volunteers were involved. Of course, we also have invited Brother Pascal, Belgium ambassador, join this function and also give us a little speech. I think it's all of us work together harmoniously as a great team to successfully run this charity event. And of course, I'm very pleased that we managed to collect about 80,000 ringgit for this, very meaningful project. Of course, it's all due to the effort of everyone coming together. It's not one person. And all this, again, I would call them part and parcel of the list of benefactors that have accompanied me. Okay, beside this English group, I was also blessed to be part of the building committee, our Jing Tang building committee. And these are the few key members of your brother Alan, your brother Wee from the left, then your brother Jiante, and of course, everyone knows brother Xiao Se, who donated our land, our Jing Tang land. Then of course, we have this brother David Liu and brother Sean Tan, who have, built this Jing Tang, the structure, for is for us. And of course, another very well-known person, of course, is Brother Lu, myself. This picture I wish to explain a little bit is that day, that was on the 28th of August 2015. This is a very meaningful day. That is the day when we, install, our 宇宙大觉者, the Buddha, the great awaken of the universe, all the time, I think we started off Tzu Chi in KL. We started off, of course, in Malacca. Then, of course, we started off in Shah Alam, using Sister Echo Chen's apartment as an office. Then we moved to Kelana Jaya, So we don't have a proper home in KL. So in fact, this is the home, that we have been waiting for, and I think on this particular day, when we install this Buddha, to our this Jing Tang, it was very, very touching. In fact, tears were flowing, and finally, we were able to have a permanent home, that we can go back to, and of course, this home that we have, is what we always say, a place that speak Dharma without words, Wusen the sofa, so it carries a lot of sentimental feelings, as of course we went through quite a fair bit, before this Jing Tang took place, that the detailing, I think, will have to be done in a separate session, of course, for those who have heard, the stories of Jing Tang, especially from Brother Lu, this Jing Tang is home, our Tzu Chi home, and of course, one very interesting note I want to add on is this: when we ask Master, when we should have a proper, opening ceremony, I remembered Master very well. She said, actually, we don't really need an opening ceremony. You just use whichever part of the building is ready. So I think immediately it struck upon us. In fact, we were paying quite a fair bit of rental, and we were occupying our Kelana Jaya office. So immediately when the office is ready, the office section is ready in Jing Tang, we move about 100 over of this Tongren, our Tzu Chi staff, into this building. That was the first usage of our Jing Tang. So for Jing Tang, in fact, we don't have, very uniquely, special is we don't even have a proper official opening ceremony. But to me, by installing this 宇宙大觉者, to me is my, ceremony of beginning of the usage of this Jing Tang. And of course, next to me, on top of this little construction stage here, is our brother Zhu Guocai. He's really the Superman. You can always see him around. When there's activities. That his expertise in this area is, really second to none. And beside the involving in Jing Tang, I was also fortunate to be involved in our Tzu Chi International School. So this photo was taken 2 years ago. We were rushing for completion. So we have done quite many visits to the project site. This photo, of course, we have Brother David Liu, who purposely came all the way from Taiwan to guide us, and together with the rest of the team members. And obviously, our meetings, we cannot have this, all these projects without the clearance, without, our guidance from our Sangren, our master. And during our so-called many discussions, I was also very fortunate that we were able to have some photo session with our master. So this photo was taken the early part of 2018, and this one was taken in 2019 when we about nearing completion of the school. We made a poster, so we sent it back brought back with us to give it to master to literally so-called hand over this school to master, even though of course physically Sangren are not able to visit us. But I think this is a very meaningful photo. All the committees and the family members and the architects and the engineers, and of course together with our brother Chi Feng, our deputy CEO. Of course, the principal of the Tzu Chi school is there as well, together with our children. And on top of all these so-called people that have accompanied me, like I said, these are all the benefactors that have guided me. So I like to, express, my gratitude. I will not be able to express thanks to everyone, one by one, but I would like to use this a little song to express my gratitude. Let us listen to this a wonderful song.
Thank you. Yay!
送给你小星星，送你花一朵。你在我生命中太多的感动，你是我的天使，一路指引我。无论岁月变幻，爱你唱成歌。听我说谢谢你，因为有你温暖了四季。谢谢你，感谢有你，世界更美丽。我要谢谢你，因为有你，爱常在心底。谢谢你，感谢有你，把幸福传递。听我说谢谢你，因为有你温暖了四季。谢谢你，感谢有你，世界更美丽。我要谢谢你，因为有你，爱常在心底。谢谢你，感谢有你，把幸福传递。我要谢谢你，因为有你，温暖了四季。谢谢你，感谢有你，世界更美丽。
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for showing me love and the beauty in humanity. In fact, like what Brother Joe Huang shared last night, somehow we all came together because of Tzu Chi and Master, and of course, Master really string us all together, to build this big Dharma family, to carry out her mission, to spread love to all corners of the world. So let us continue to, inspire each other, and to walk the path. I am truly, truly blessed to have all of you as my benevolent benefactors as I walk this path. Yeah, Kanan for the opportunity to share, and Kanan for listening. Okay, thank you so much. Back to you, Sister Su Ching.
And Brother Robert for the wonderful and most heartfelt sharing. So heartfelt. I trust everyone also feels the deepest sincerity and humbleness in Brother Robert. Indeed, today Brother Robert reminded us of this today's topic, the morning Shinpa, letting go of self to unite everyone. Because of Brother Robert's vastness in hearts, he's able to accomplish many things over here, and as he could accommodate everyone's opinion. Most humble and down to earth, despite his privileged background. We could see that, and Brother Robert always make all of us feel at ease at home. Okay, today we have a surprise for Brother Robert. One of the benefactors would like to have a few words. Let us invite Brother Wong to share.
My association with Robert started slightly more than 15 years ago, when his father first introduced him to me and asked me to lead and guide him onto this path. And since then, we have become not just Dharma relatives or Dharma brothers, but we have also become good friends in traveling and in exercising. 15 years ago, my first impression of Robert, he actually looked like a contractor, big in size, loved to eat, and his driving was also a little bit rough. But that was my first impression. But somehow over time, I also realized that other than that, he has a very good influence from his father. He is also quite inclined towards Tzu Chi, and because he was very willing to ask anything about Tzu Chi, so I was like his dictionary or encyclopedia on Tzu Chi. He would ask things like, how old is Master? So I would reply him, no, you don't ask how old, you must ask what year she was born. If you know what year, 1937, then every time you remember how old she is. Then I would also ask him things like where to find good food, because he practically knows every food outlet, good food outlet in Kuala Lumpur. So whenever I have friends or relatives from outstation asking me where to find good food, I would always call him where to find, and he would never fail me. So that's how we all started. Robert is definitely a very generous person, as a person, as a friend, and even among us Tzu Chi fellow volunteers. And I recall early years, every time I go out eating or dining with him, he would always foot the bill. He would never allow me to take care of the bill. So much so, at one stage, finally I told him, Robert, I accept that you would always pay the bill. I won't pay anymore. I would treat it as either last life you owe me, and this year at this life you pay me back. Or I take it as, if I owe you now, next life I will pay you back. Not to worry, we have that understanding. I am very happy that after 15 years, Robert still stay active in Tzu Chi, still active as the English group team leader, and still active in other committees. This is very typical of his family, because I have looked at his father being a very active person in the Buddhist fraternity. I'm not surprised that Robert is also active in Tzu Chi, and probably for many more years to come.
And then so much, Sister Su Ching, for the little surprise.
Robert, not only one, 有意就有二. Okay, let us next invite Sister Yvonne to share with us, Sister. 感恩.
And then Sister Su Ching, for giving me this opportunity. I have known Brother Robert since we were in primary 3. That means when we were 10 years old. So it's like 40 over years already. I know him. Very true, Brother Robert, when we were in primary school, with his, the whole family is very generous. Without fail, since standard 6, every year we will travel to his home. Even when we were in primary school, at that time we don't have car, we were whole Jing gang, we will take bus and go to his house, and he will serve us wonderful without failing, until he got married and disappeared to Penang for a while before he come back and we continue the journey. And Brother Robert is not only filial to his parents, also filial to his friends' parents. He every year without fail will give ang pao to my mother. So that is Brother Robert. And even though when we visit him, the father is the same. Although we are married, the father, when you see all of us, will still give us ang pao. Just imagine that. Although we say, hey, we are married, so it's okay. So that is Brother's family environment. So I'm very glad this Robert, he really got skillful mean. One day out of the blue, I think he must become a commissioner or so, or what. He said, okay, let's get together for lunch. And after lunch, he said, hey, do you want to be a donating member to Tzu Chi? I think that's how it started a couple of years ago. So I was a donor for quite a while. And Brother Robert, without fail, right, quarterly, he will catch up with us. And after giving us good food, he will say, oh, how about your donation to Tzu Chi? So you look at him, after giving us a good food, he without fail will remember to collect donation for Tzu Chi. So, but truly, Brother Robert, I'm very grateful to you. Actually, Brother Robert is my benefactor. And because of you, I get to know Tzu Chi, I get to know Master Tzu Ching. And I remember when I was in my late 40s, I have woke up in the morning and asked myself, what's the purpose of life? And thank you, Brother Robert, because I entered the door of Tzu Chi, listening to Master's sermon. I now know what is the purpose of life that I need to do. And from Master's teaching, I understand that one has to find back our true nature and to find back our nature of true suchness. So Tzu Chi is a platform, and it's the right direction. And really, Kanan, because of you, I know this. And through Master teaching, I know there's 3 parts that I need to do concurrently among this Tzu Chi family. The first part, my Master teaches us about emptiness. In my legitimate understanding, for me, is about letting go of attachment. This emptiness part for me is about perfecting my own conduct, letting go of my ego, letting go of attachment to money. And because of Brother Robert too, and when I learned how to let go, I also make a plan to do towards long term. I started this year. So Brother Robert, because of you, I learned how to let go of my attachment to money. And also ego. Ego is a journey. It's not easy, Brother Robert. It really takes strength for you to let go, for harmony. And I have one great sister here that I learned a lot. Another benefactor is Sister Su Ching that I learned from her. It takes greater strength to be a never sliding bodhisattva. The second part, when Master talks about wondrous existence, for my legitimate understanding, is about diligence. It's the diligence part. Wondrous existence for me is equals to being diligent. Why I say that? Because Tzu Chi is a platform for me to diligently walk and create good affinity to benefit many people, whether you are in refugee, in charity case, or wherever not. Truly, wondrous existence is when you walk the path, you realize why Master said wondrous existence, to make use of this body that we have right now to cultivate. Thank you again, Brother Robert, for giving me this, bringing in this door. I must tell you, Brother Robert is so skillful. I remember when I first joined in the 4-in-1, remember the story of the parable of the lost son, when the father will dispatch his assistant to go after the son. Brother Robert did the same. He dispatched his assistant back then now known as my mentor, Sister Eunice. He said, Sister Eunice, to nurture for me 2 years, catch on me, and because of that, I think I was fast track lah. Within 2 years, I became a commissioner. 2017, 2019, I go back. So truly, Brother Robert, because of me coming into Tzu Chi, learning from Master's teaching, and I know the third part that I need to do concurrently, but I'm not perfect. I'm still performing my conduct. For every opportunity that I come my way, I must awaken the love that's inherent in all the sentient beings, so that the world be a better place, because we really need more loving bodhisattva. We know what is the attributes of bodhisattva. If people can just become awakened, truly the place, whether in family, society, or whoever that we interact with, it will be really a harmonious situation. Kanan, Brother Robert, truly my benefactor.
Kanan so much, Sister Yvonne, for all the nice and kind words. Thank you so much.
Brother Robert, how we wish we can from 1 to infinity, but because of time constraint, we need to stop at 2. Wow, very kind. Sister Yvonne, truly, I think like Brother Chin said, we have seen so much the growth of Sister Yvonne. All of us take great rejoicing in seeing her transformation, not only herself, and she has transformed many, many people and bringing a lot of people into Tzu Chi. Very grateful for leading us in prayer. There are so many people we wish to express our deepest gratitude. Very grateful to in the morning, Brother Chin and Brother Robert. Robert has been doing the overtime, running overtime today from morning until now. Very grateful to both brothers and all the wonderful sharers for today. Very heartfelt and wisdom sharing. And we're also very grateful to Brother Robert for benefiting us by sharing stories on the great benefactors. In fact, we feel the inclusiveness. Every time Brother Robert shared, we will feel we are part of it. It's always very heartwarming. And we are very grateful to Brother Wong and Sister Yvonne, despite the very last minute invite, still could give very heartfelt sharing. Very kind. And thank you, brothers and sisters, for staying with us and making your presence here today. Hope that since early in the morning, and hope that each of us could continue and sustain this Dharma joy and have another piece of Dharma Master and Hualien left in our life. Oh yeah, next week we will have Sister Yachi from South Africa to share. Sister Yachi has published a book, but I think the book is in Chinese. It's about the journey of South Africa, but she will be sharing with us the stories from this book. Very grateful. Okay.